Hey everyone, I want to talk about a great question that was asked in one of my recent videos talking about what do you do in middle to later stage recovery where you've read all the books, you've put the work in, you've done a lot of exposures, but you're still kind of stuck with either shame, guilt, or anxiety in the background, maybe still a little bit of depersonalization and derealization, and they really just don't know what to do from that point. This is a larger period of time that many people don't talk about. We think in our minds that there's a systematic approach that we will feel better like 25% at month 6 and 50% at year 1. And that's where that fear really takes a strong hold. You can always tell if someone understands OCD and anxiety disorders or not if they're not speaking about fear. Fear is more than likely the biggest category that drives all anxiety, OCD, PTSD, BDD, GAD, and panic disorder to some large degree, which is just the fear of being stuck in the OCD and anxiety cycle again, and why it's so important to cover that. But before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below, let me know what you think about this topic. This is something I haven't covered in a very long time, or something kind of in this, maybe never in this manner. And I think it is really important to cover this because there are a lot of people that are in this almost like leeway period where they really don't know what to do, and they put a lot of work in. So if you're interested in our coaching and webinar services, as always, please email info@ocdrecovery.com, and please comment down below if you are in this period. This person is usually, not always, in that like year to 2.5 year range in there. They're living life fully. It's still kind of lingering, but they've made complete progress. So in the beginning of OCD and anxiety recovery, there is a large degree of learning how OCD operates. Educating yourself on the principles from the books on the reading list, which you can find at ocdrecovery.com, breaking those principles down on paper. I always say this. I had a one-to-one this morning before a call I just got off of, and I said, if you look at the people who have made the progress you want to make, every single one of those people have read the books. And the fact that people are very argumentative on that makes a little bit of, it doesn't make any sense, because I always tell people I'm very good at using practical, relatable examples. It's just kind of how I make things up. So I say, if you went to someone and that person did something that you want to do, and they held it for a long period of time and did it with repeatability, and they taught people how to do it, and you were like, that's how they did it, and I have a good idea they've done it and held that perspective for a long period of time, that's what I probably would follow. That's why we have mentors. And people will just not read the books. And we tend to be our own worst enemy when we're going through OCD and anxiety recovery. Now, that's just an intro to this video. That's usually the beginning. So let's say you've read all the books, you've done your homework, you've done your exposures, you don't really have any avoidance behaviors, maybe. You maybe have some really subtle compulsions that you just haven't, because you're just holding on to them so tightly. And you're saying to me, Nick, I do not know what to do. What do I do from here? Now, number one belief. I have put the work in. I shouldn't be more stuck. I've put the work in. I know the tools. Why am I still like this? That black and white demand that you should get better. This is where those timeline myths come in big time, where people say to me, they say, well, I've been working in recovery for 2 years. Why am I not better? It's because you still want to get better. It's not about that you want to get better. You're demanding that you should get better. You're demanding that because you've it's completely conditional. Once you see it from my perspective, and way even further than that, you say, and I fell into this trap many times. You put the work in, you have a setback or it's lingering, you forget about all the progress that you've made. I always use this example, another good practical example. Let's say you're building a $1 billion company. This is how humans work. And your company goes IPO, okay, International Public Outing on the stock market, and they value your company at $993 million. And you say, shit, are you kidding me? Because you're $7 million short of that $1 billion valuation, but you forgot about all the other work you put in. That's the biggest mistake OCD and anxiety sufferers put in, because we so desperately want to never feel anxiety or emotional disturbance ever in our lives again. So there is a degree of fear. Now, the best way to live that fear is continue doing what you're doing. There's no direct exposures needed unless you have avoidance behaviors. If you have some avoidance behaviors and compulsions left, those subtle ones, they got to go. Usually people that are in this place, especially if they haven't worked with someone side by side that really understands. I have people that come into me all the time and say the exact verbiage. They say, hey, look, I'm recovered, but I was just wondering this. You're not recovered. If you're coming in, there's a 99.9% chance you're not recovered. That's okay. You're just not recovered yet. And it's very important to cover that, because so many people have that belief. They think, oh my gosh, like I'm recovered, but why am I still experiencing anxiety? That's almost like saying I'm recovered from alcohol, but why am I still drinking every day? You're not sober. You're making amazing progress, and it's important to highlight that. But we are stepping into this societal belief system of taking concepts that have a good definition, an anecdotal societal definition, and being like they mean everything to different people. They don't. So accepting that you can't accept right now is the most important part. Hey, look, I've made tremendous progress. I can live like this for the rest of my life. It's not the end of the world. But if I want to get a little bit further, I'm going to have to kind of take my foot off the gas even further and realize that I don't need it gone right now. So you don't have to go back. Now let's go over mistakes. Going back and rereading the books, trying to force exposures again, thinking there's something that needs to be changed, that 0 to 100 sensation where OCD sufferers think, I need to change something right now. What needs to be changed? How can I change it? And what do I have to do to kind of further myself? Then OCD's got you good. Got you real good. Because you think in your mind, you're like, well, wait a second. I still have like 5% to go. Then you rate it, which is a problem. You still have that internal thermometer that's firing because the fear is still high. Why this? Why that? And then you jump right back into the compulsive cycle of forcing acceptance. So if you're in that end stage recovery or recovery journey, look at the remainder fear. OCD recovery and anxiety recovery comes when you no longer need OCD and anxiety recovery to live any sort of way, the complete willingness to experience all discomfort, all sensations, even strong relapses, and realize that if you reach that end stage recovery robust, that's amazing. That is the definition. No chronic shame, no chronic guilt for the remainder of your life. But it is very important to realize that we do not need that to live. I wanted to jump on here real quick and make this short video talking about that because it is such an important topic. And whoever asked that question, that is a terrific question that tripped me up many times. So again, summary, it's the fear of fear, thinking you have to go back and reapply the tools and change things. That puts you back into that compulsive chase. You're like my little dance mechanism. Or maybe I'm a Jedi, who knows? So... Such a weirdo. But it is really important to cover that that's what it is. No exposures necessary. Look at those subtle, small compulsions you don't want to give up and go from there. So thank you so much for watching this video. Again, buddy, that was a great question. Many people are interested in this particular topic. It doesn't need to be a long video. It's punchy, to the point, and exactly what we usually need to hear, which is usually the last thing we want to hear, but usually the things that benefit us the most. And again, if you're interested in our coaching and webinar services, please email us at info@ocdrecovery.com and we'll get back to you in timely fashion. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.